This has been an extraordinary campaign. I've been overwhelmed by the messages of support on every medium from others who can see what's going on. The huge team of volunteers who've gone out delivering leaflets across the borough, although we didn't quite get to all of it. Particular thanks to the elderly gentleman who said due to mobility he could only deliver 15 leaflets. Others did more than 1,000. But I could sense he wanted to be part of it, and he was. And through it all, so many questions, accusations and allegations about my motivations. When I was 19 years old, I left Guildford to go and travel the world. Almost exactly 34 years ago, I sat with a work friend, Kathy, to say goodbye, and she said, "You'll be back. Most people do come back." And I thought, no, I probably won't. I couldn't wait to go and find out. But Kathy was right. Although, come to think of it, there's a place in South Australia called Streaky Bay. I found 3 old guys in the pub there decades ago, and one said, "I've been to New York, London, Sydney, I've been everywhere, and there's nowhere quite like Streaky Bay." There's nothing there, just a pub and a few houses. But there really is no place like home, and there's no place in the world like our home. And that's why I finally came back in my 40s, and that in its entirety is why I've been prepared to put my time, effort and a little money into this campaign, to just expose the truth of what's been going on. All councillors have to be residents, representing residents by law. They have to either live or work in the borough. It's not a unique selling point, it's an absolute requirement. Why is it that residents for Guildford and Villages and their small band of very vocal supporters on social media find it so hard to fathom why someone would care enough about their town, the borough in which they and their wife grew up, and the place they both hope to grow old, to put their effort into saving it from the voracious appetite of developers? Surely that tells you more about some of them than it does me. This R4GV North Street scheme, building on top of public car parks and failing to provide an alternative, providing only one resident's car parking space for every 3.5 flats, reducing public transport capacity and introducing more congestion, plus failing to provide the affordable housing that is council policy, 40%, and which is so desperately needed. All this, and so many more harms, were justified by the developer, claiming that they couldn't make a profit otherwise. So a consultant was employed to check, and they said the developer's information was deficient for a full evaluation, but they were able to identify £50 million that had not been disclosed. And then a local man, John Harrison, an expert in the field by the looks of it, wrote a report that showed that there's no need for high-density tower blocks. John concluded that a smaller scheme without tower blocks would be perfectly viable. I would direct you to the council's planning portal to see his report, but mysteriously, only the cover page appears there now. Fortunately, I downloaded a copy some time ago and finally read through it all last night. This is just one scheme of many that will drive demand for cold concrete in our town, and then in our villages and the green spaces in between them too. Today is the day, folks. Postal votes started to be sent out weeks ago, just a week after candidates for the borough elections were even announced. So many people didn't know the facts when they voted. So ladies, please, get the old man up early or off the sofa when he gets home from work. Grab your polling cards, your passport, your driving licence, and go and vote for someone, anyone else, and let's save our borough. We need to counteract those votes from people who didn't know. Once every few years, we do have agency. We do have the higher power. The power to choose who we want to represent us and who not to. This is a democratic right that was wrestled away from the ancient kings 808 years ago with Magna Carta and fought for again from these lands 400 years later. It's said that the horses were gathered in the Tillingbourne Valley for the English Civil Wars. Surrey was for democracy. Tens of thousands of men fought in pitched battles and died in great swathes. And then finally, in the 1920s, all adult women won the vote. Again, it took tragic human sacrifice, but it was won in the end. Another 400 years on from the Civil War, today we all have that higher power, so let's use it. Thank you for watching, participating and helping. This was the battle for Guildford. We don't need to fight with swords, guns and bullets in these lands, we just do it with votes. And whether your family made this borough your home many generations ago, or if you arrived here last week, long may that great tradition continue. I got my hands up shaking just to let you know that you've got a higher power. What's next? Well, as I said earlier on in this campaign, who'd want to make a movie about a town that was lost to developers? Every year, endless thousands make an epic journey from every corner of the planet because of a film that was made 16 years ago here. They come to find the cottage. but it was only ever a Hollywood facade for a film set. All we need to do is to draw people to our town, not to witness the desecration of it with tower blocks, but to sense our history, our culture, our welcome, our shops, our businesses, our entertainment venues, our life and our way. And having been shot a Hollywood smile by Cameron Diaz
I'm here.
that nearly blew me back through the fence when I encountered her at Christmas in Sheer, I think I found a way to do it.
To let you know now you've got a higher power. You got me singing every second.